Welcome back to the newest installment of Reasons Why I Should Be Playing Pauper instead of Constructed. You're watching another Wondercat channel video. Today we will be dissecting the Zaxon trait, a new archetype released with BT23, and with enough pieces printed in the common and uncommon rarities, I've been able to cook up something delightfully devilish. But let's quickly go over what we lose access to in this format. We don't get to play Faye, a 4-cost tamer. She's a self-check tamer, and when a face-up Zaxon or Royal Base Trait card is placed into your security, gain 1 memory, and if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, draw a card. She's pretty good, though we lose a lot of her power, since bees just play with security much more than what Zaxon does. Just its egg alone will trigger this every turn. That being said, she's still a potential +2 memory and draw 1 every turn, which is very strong. Would we play this if it was an uncommon? Probably 2, but again, still much stronger in bees. If it's not consistent, I don't really want to warrant playing this too much. Other big loss, the new Tiger Vespa Ace, another B card. The card's pretty nutterbutters for a super rare, let's be honest, don't get it twisted. On play, it can bounce something back to your opponent's hand, or when digivolving of course, and put one of your Zaxon / Royal Base treated cards from hand or trash face up, fueling our other effects. On top of that, whenever it suspends, during all turns, because why not, you can flip your top face-up security card face down to unsuspend it. This is not a once per turn effect, meaning it has the potential to OTK someone pretty quickly from 5 security with a bit of setup. The card surely wouldn't have ever been printed as an uncommon, but if we could play it, it would definitely be a 3 to 4 of. But what's the payoff to the archetype? Well, we should see more Zaxon cards in future, which means that we could be rebuilding this deck in the future, but our big payoff is the absolutely disgusting abomination that is the new Machinedramon. A 12k body with Sec +1 and Reboot. So he's got higher DP than average, swings for 2 checks, and gets to restand. That's already pretty good. On play and when digivolving, for a cost of 3 on a CS trait, Digi1, then delete a Digimon with 8000 DP or less, which basically encompasses all level 5s and lower. Because this Digi1's prior to its deletion effect, it has the ability to remove an opponent's level 6 when digivolving for a cost of 3. Why was this printed as an uncommon? It could have been a rare. Bandai, I love you. Thank you. This is great. This is how we make Pauper a thing. It's not a busted card by any means, but it's so strong for an uncommon. We haven't even read the whole card yet. When attacking once per turn, activate an on-play effect from one of your face-up Zaxon trait cards in security as one of this Digimon's effects. And there we have the payoff in the identity of Zaxon. We build up our stack to Machinedra, we swing and profit. So our early turns want to consist of setting up a couple of our support Zaxon pieces into security so that when we do drop our Machinedra, he can put in the hard yards. With 4 copies in our list, he is the linchpin to our win con. But we can't get our Machinedra online without our favorite tamer, Yugo. A 5-cost memory setter, which is pretty expensive. On play, by adding your top security card to your hand, you may add a Zaxon trait card from your trash or hand to the bottom of your security face up. So this card feels like a bit of a trap, but it's technically replacing itself in hand. If you're able to throw a Zaxon trait card from your trash into security, it gives you a new card. It is one of the main ways to start enabling Machinedra to do his thing, and the best part about this card, end of turn, suspend Yugo, then one of your Digimon with the machine or Zaxon trait may attack a player. This means that we can, in fact, play this after getting to Machinedramon, throwing a Zaxon trait into our security face up, passing memory, and end of turn still swing with our Machinedra. It's kind of disgusting, since if we put a second Machinedra into security and swing with our first on board, we have a when attacking Digi1 delete 8k or less every single turn. Okay then. We're going to play 3 copies of Yugo because we only really need to get to 1 copy on board to enable our Machinedra, and he's a memory setter. That's half his value already. So once we have 1, it's, But what other cards can it enable? Well, our top end also has 2 other Zaxon traded mons that we can toy around with. Phoenix Mon, a card we recently covered in our Red Burbs list, makes his return as the great support piece to the deck, is now one of our throw into security targets. An 11k body, a digi cost of 3, a play cost of 11, but will be reduced by 5 down to a play cost of 6 if we have Yugo on board. A play cost 6 level 6 is pretty nasty. If we have a memory setter on board, going from starting at 3, giving your opponent 3 memory, and playing a level 6 11k that blows something up on entering is like, there's very, very strong card. We play 3 copies of this because it's not our true win con. It's still a great choice to digivolve into, since we can still basically remove a level 5 or lower from the board each turn. It's a great effect if we can trigger this off our machine just when attacking as well, so if we put it in security, allowing us to keep our opponent's trash clear, which can hinder both purple and some blue decks. On deletion, puts itself face up as your bottom security card. This effect is pretty major, since even if your opponent can get rid of it, it's only buffing your late game and making you harder to kill still. The card's biggest weakness, probably the deck's biggest weakness, is de-digivolution, but we can circumvent that partially with these reduced play costs. Speaking of reduced play costs, our other Zaxon choice, Sakuyamon, also play cost of 11, is reduced by 5 if you have a Zaxon tree tamer on board for a total play cost of 6. Again, on play when digivolving when attacking. Neg 6k something, it can't activate its digivolving effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is the worst of our 3 options, since it's really going to kill level 5s, can only nuke level 4s or lower, and though we are turning off when digivolving effects on a stack, if it's living through the neg 6k, it's probably already too big for that to matter. It also got the same on deletion as Phoenix, sending itself to the bottom of your security face up, enabling our machine draw some more. We run 2 copies of this just to fill out our Zaxon lineup, giving us a total of 9 level 6s. This is a bit higher than average, but that's fine because we do benefit off that. Not only does it mean that our security on average is scarier to swing into, we also have ways to cycle them through our hands so they aren't always dead in hand early game. But while on the topic of reducing play costs and such, we're going to play 2 copies of Yugo Kamashiro from BT22. For the sake of things, I'm just going to refer to this as Kamashiro from now on. On play, reveal top 3, add a CS trait to hand, and when you would play a CS trait Mon or Tamer, bottom deck this card to reduce the play cost by 2. This means that our Kamashiro can turn our supporting level 6s into a 3 cost body. Absolutely wild to consider. They're definitely starting to look stronger. Kamashiro is a nice little inclusion. Ultimately, if you want to see more of him, we could probably swap some ratios. I like him as a 2-off, at least at the moment. But how do we set up our top end for success? BT23 gave us some absolute bangers for rookies that can help load up our trash for the setup required to get max benefit off Yugo. Starting off with Monodramon, the best rookie in our list, the full playset. Start of main by trashing a CS device Cyborg Dragonkin trait card, gain a memory, draw 1. It's a classic rummaging effect, but the +1 memory helps a lot. This card also enables us to trash one of our Sakuya, Phoenix, or if necessary a machine draw to set up our later turns. And all turns inherited +1k, also decent, turning our supporting level 6s into 12ks, our machine draw into a 13k. You basically always want to see this and a level 6 in your opening hand. It should be stated that all of our rookies will have a base DP of 1k. We're not going to rookie rush our way to victory with this deck. That is not going to happen. Our budget Monodramon, the next best thing, 3 copies of Dracmon, also BT23. Start a main, trashing a CS, Undead, Dark Animal, gain a memory. So he's essentially trading hand advantage for memory. Not super great, but can still help set up our trash for our Yugo. It's the next best thing if we can't get mono in our opening hand. Unfortunately, his inherited is irrelevant here, and the same could be said for the majority of our rookies. They're here for setup, they don't generate that much inherited value, but that's okay, since, as we've already discussed, in a deck where we can hard play level 6s for as little as 3 to 4 memory, inheriteds aren't super necessary. Our next level 3 copies of Betamon from BT23. On play by trashing 1 card in hand, return a CS trait card from trash to hand, non-egg. Again, another great rookie enabler that will load up our trash for Yugo earlier, and it's still relevant late game, recycling what missing levels or pieces that we need. I'd play this as a playset if his inherited was relevant, and if I didn't want to add in our next saucy inclusion, which is going to be 2 copies of Gabumon BT22. On play, dig 3, add a card with Omnimon in text, that's not going to be anything, and a CS trait card. Another irrelevant inherited, Gabumon's actually here as a cute little combo that we can pull off. It's not super big or anything. It's fine as a 2-off. If it shows up, it shows up. To add to our consistency, though, we play 3 copies of Kurami's Detective Agency. This card being Pauper legal, it feels illegal, especially due to it just being better than most generic memory boosts. Yes, you can argue it only digs 3 cards instead of 4, but being able to add any 1 CS trait card, not just specifically Digimon, is a great benefit to the card's strength, and since most CS lists rely heavily on tamers, it's just overall great card design. Oh, I mean, also with the new mono-colored options, you know, like it digs for anything CS related. If you're playing a CS inspired list, it's probably going to run a couple of these. The card kind of takes up the same utility space as Kamashiro, you know, as they do technically interact with the deck in different ways. Kamashiro is going to help with hard playing our Digimon or Tamers, but not with Digivolving costs. Whereas Kurumi is a more all-inclusive, though requires a CS trait on board to actually play it. They're both more or less interchangeable, but I think Kamashiro not helping with Digivolving does lower his value a little. That's why we play the 3 Kurumi, the 2 Kamashiro. So now we've done some digging, we've done some trashing, we need to start building up our stack. We can start it off with our funny Gabu combo, 2 copies of BT23's Greymon. A digicost of 2 on CS trait, has Raid and a main effect. By placing Greymon underneath into its stack, you can play Gabumon from hand with a play cost reduced by 2. This allows us to go into a new level 4, makes our current stack stronger with Greymon's inherited during your turn plus 2k DP, and gives us a level 3 body for a cost of 1 memory, which also gives us a dig 3 for another CS trait card. So not bad. It's overall, like, if you really want to think about that kind of board state, it's a 3 memory cost potential for plus 2 cards and a new body on board. But we can make it even better with our last tamer, Jimmy Ken! Yes, Jimmy Ken makes his second showing in this list, proving he's not just a one-hit wonder. A memory setter for 4, whenever one of your Digimon Digivolve or are played, if they have the Flame or CS trait, suspend him, activate their main effect, and if you do, gain a memory. So, if we have him on board, you can Digivolve into Greymon. We instantly throw Greymon underneath our stack, into our below our level 3 we had underneath him, play a Gabumon for 1, which we get refunded by suspending our Jimmy. This isn't the only interaction we have with Jimmy, though. We can't include him and just give him this one niche little interaction, can we? Of course not. No, we're better deck builders than that. Continuing on with Jimmy's best hits, he also combos insanely well with one of our new level 5s, Edimon, an awesome new level CS 5 Alliance inherited, because why not have a Machine Dramon that can swing with 3 checks? Like, yeah. On main, by playing 1, play a Chumon or a Suka, which we aren't playing, or a level 3 CS Treatmon in hand for free. Then one of your level 3 or higher Digimon will gain reboot and block until the end of your opponent's next turn. So, before we go on, I just gotta point out, like, how awesome is the art for Edimon? He's basically doing a Dark Rasengan. The man is rocking his iconic shades and the Monzemon mic. I love it. So again, if we have a Jimmy on board, we get out a free rookie from hand. The cherry on top, because Edimon gives anything we have reboot and blocker, and he himself has Alliance, you can swing with Alliance for 2 checks, suspending the rookie you had, and ensure that it reboots and can be used to block with the following turn. It's such a great card. Like, overall, I can't fault it. It's got great art, combo potential, inherited, board presence, all top tier. And the card is just a flavor win too. The fact that Edimon is like a singer and he works well with Jimmy, it's pure chemistry. It's brilliant. I love it. But as usual, he's a level 5, Digicost of 3, nothing special, noteworthy there. But he doesn't just work with Jimmy, because he's actually another solid card to pitch to our trash, since we also play 3 copies of BT23's Sanglutmon. 4k body, Digicost of 2, when attacking, this Digimon may Digivolve into an undead or CS trait in the trash. What this means is he by himself can turn our level 5 draws into straight value off our rookies, whilst not losing hand advantage, making our Digivolutions a true +1 in hand on swing. And since our other level 5s have 1 Digivolving effects, it doesn't really matter what we pitch early, whether it's Edimon with Jimmy on board or any of our other lines, we are getting some sweet, sweet value off this swing. Again, inherited, kind of irrelevant. The deck is all about that on-board value we generate, and once we Digivolve past this on swing, Sangloop has done his job. So with our Greymon playing out our Gabumon, and with our Edimon playing out level 3s in general, the only real option for our egg has to be Sumemon. Once per turn, whenever we play out a CS trait Mon, draw 1. This also works well with our Yugo, since we can hard play something, trigger our egg, draw 1, then still swing with Machine Jaw or our other level 6s. I was considered running Motimon, as it's a great inherited, but Yugo basically gives us the same effect. It was hard trying to find enough space in this list for reasonable amounts of CS trait options. There's also harder for us to accomplish with having to run a higher than average number of level 6s. I've already cut this deck's amount of level 4s down to 9 instead of the average 10 that people usually run. Yokomon is another decent option, but we don't always want to specifically swing with what's on top of our Yoko. So Sumeme is just overall our best consistent egg, at least for now. Our final level 4 copies of BT23's Geogray. 5k body with a security effect, playing itself for free when checked, which is always a plus in this format. More free bodies for this deck, you love to see it. He also has Raid like his Greymon brother, but has Blocker stapled on and Inherited Blocker too. Geogray is in here mostly for that Blocker Inherited. Look at it, it's an Inherited that matters. So we can truly abuse Machinedramon's Reboot, being able to swing for a potential 3 checks if we have Geogray and Adimon stack, restand to block with him if necessary next turn. If we can get him played out for free from a cheeky security check by the opponent, we get a blocker to defend any other potential swings. So all in all, it's just a solid card, feeds into the deck's game plan really well. Moving on from Geogray, we bump him up into 2 copies of Rise Grey. When Digivolving, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you can play a play cost 4 or fewer, 4 or lower I should say, red or black Tamer, or 1 Tamer with a CS trait, meaning he can in fact play our Yugo. That's pretty good. I did rework the list slightly so we could include this particular card. I was originally running the Jimmy Ken Devimon in the level 4 slot. I was frustrated with its ability to only play Jimmy when Digivolving. I really needed something that could help us play out our other Tamers. We have a bit more flexibility now with our free Tamer playing, and with Rise Greymon's Inherited Sec +1, he's arguably a more aggressive level 5 under Machindra anyway. Since the deck is entirely CS, we will always be Digivolving into it for a cost of 3. The deck definitely likes to make do with its keyword inclusions. If you haven't been paying attention, we have access to Reboot, Blocker, Raid, and Alliance. Yes, the deck is almost entirely black-red, so we get some of those really great combat keywords. Our last level 5, 2 copies of BT23 Weregaruru. On play / when Digivolving. If you control a CS trait Tamer, give one of your opponent's Digimon start of main. This Digimon attacks until the end of their turn. This ability, oh man, at least to me, it's like one of the most annoying abilities in the game. Forcing your opponent to do anything, like they have to do this before they get a choice. It is incredibly detrimental to like anyone's game plan, especially when it's the first thing they have to do after raising. Like the fact that you go draw, do I want to push out in raising or do I want to hatch? You obviously hatch if you need to, but they go, I don't want to push anything out. They have a level 4 on board. They must swing with it. Since Weregaruru has Blocker, you can easily block with their level 3 or level 4. Remove any chances of them building up their threat with that. It also can just set them back a turn in terms of their onboard presence, because if they have something in raising and they would want to bring it out, but they don't want to bring it out because of this effect currently on board, then it's it can be very frustrating and slow them down quite significantly, which is pretty good. Inherited, all turns, once per turn. When an attack target changes, D-Digi one of your opponent's Digimon. Oh my god. With Geogray in our stack and this, we have a pretty good defensive tool. If we Digivolve into this, then manage to go into our level 6 before passing turn, we have a force your opponents to attack, block with our level 6 D-Digi 1. Great pressure, all things considered. Like, what is that stack, man? But our last card, single Comet Hammer, because D-Digi 4 for a cost of 5 is pretty disgusting. The fact that we can trigger it again with delay when attacking with a CS trait Mon, it's a very, very strong tempo card when used at the right time. I'd play more of this if we didn't already have so many other D-Digi pieces, so we've got all our Machindramons and the Weregarurus. And let's be real, so many of the cards in this deck are already great. This was something that would have to get the cut. You can add another Kamashiro here if you want a little more consistency, if you don't want to play this. But I think this card also being a security threat warrants just the 1 copy. It's funny. I love these CS trade options. But that's it. That's the deck. Definitely went a bit more in depth with this one. I think there's a lot of hype surrounding the Zaxon archetype. So I hope I did it justice in this format. I think we definitely cooked something here. Don't forget to like and sub. Comment down below if you're looking to build something similar. Feel free to share if you're managing to get Pauper games in with your friends. I love to hear about it, please. Tell me what decks you're playing. If you've built something, if it's completely stomping, like I always feel like my whale combo deck has it is not the strongest deck by any means, but if you can just get to that turn where you can you can pop off with your level 5s into your level 6s and swing with your King Waymon. Like, no deck actually can do anything about it. So, you know, same as this sort of deck. This deck feels very like the second you hit that Machine Dramon, it's all over. But, yeah, you know, I want to see more excitement surrounding this format, and only sharing it with each other can it grow. So, until next time, look after yourself, guys. Ta-ta.